Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to People Always Ask. So, this episode is an extra special episode because it is all about making friends. And it is not easy to make friends in your adult life because usually, you go to school, you meet some friends, you go to another school, you meet some more friends, maybe you go to a job, you meet some friends. But then what if you don't have friends in a circle? What happens then? A lot of people ask me, how do you make friends in adulthood? A lot of people ask a lot of people, how do you make friends in adulthood? So I brought some friends, and we might have some more friends join us as the episode goes on that are good at making friends come and join me. So the first one is going to be Christina. Say hi, Christina.
Hi.
So Christina and I went to University of Maryland together, and she's been on her own journey of adulthood friendship making that's been going relatively well, it seems like. Oh, got another friend to add. All right, so Freddie is going to be our second guest. Freddie and I went to high school together, but we're also friends in real life, outside of high school.
We reunited just not too long ago.
Right, because Freddie was in New York. He grew his hair out. He found his hair. And so he also found some new friends. We both moved from Maryland. That was the whole thing. And so we have someone else joining us from University of Maryland who was one of my maybe most social friends, Eric. What up, Eric?
Hey. What up?
I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see your upside down emoji and all that. How you been?
I'm good. Hanging out.
We just gonna be talking about friendship. We're gonna be talking about normal friendship stuff. And so if people have comments, there's a lot of people were saying they had this question. So as people are logging in, if somebody has a question, we'll answer the question. But I have some general things to ask you guys. So the first thing is, before we get people on the wrong track, have you guys always been good at making friends?
No.
No.
Nobody.
Not always.
Let's kill the misconceptions. Nobody here was good at making friends at first. Okay, no. So somebody speak on it. What happened? How'd you get good at it?
Practice. For me, I moved from college into DC, and then because DC is a transit city, I all my friends left. So I had to make new friends because I love the city. So it was a lot of going to you're feeling awkward going to events and like keep doing it over and over and over, even though you felt very socially awkward doing it.
All right, so just do it anyway. The advice. I always tell people feel the fear and do it anyway. Like even though it's obviously scary, some things are worth it. So you just kind of do it.
And that kind of like falls into like why I became good at making friends, is that the benefits of having friends and having that support system and that group outweighed all the other things that I was like scared of. Like I went from being like a very introverted, confused brown little gay boy, and I didn't like that. And so once I did start making friends, it was like, oh, this is nice. This feels good.
Yeah, I'd say similar to what he was saying. Like very introverted for the early parts of my life, and then I did a lot of people watching. So I learned social cues, and then I just and it's not always about you don't make friends. We're not baking them. You become friends. It's about perspective. It's about being able to listen to people, and then you go, shit, this person is cool. Let's do this again. Just so it's something that I think it happens over time. It's learned. It's something that you become good at just because you become more self-aware. And easier on yourself. If you can accept yourself, you can accept the other people, and so you always just it seems like you're trying, but you're really not. It just happens naturally.
Yeah, that's a big. You just said that. There was like several super valid points in that, because I think people underestimate the degree to which you actually have to realize what you bring to the table to be able to to like effectively, walk in the world sort of sometimes and feel connected to people. Because it's hard out here. If you think everybody's going to look at you crazy, if you're yourself, that's not easy. So one of the things that I know they've been trying out here is have you tried any of the friendship apps? Have you tried Meetup or like Bumble BFF or anything like that? Has anybody tried any of those?
I attempted to, but didn't get really too far because I didn't have that personal connection to like whatever event I was looking into or had signed up for and then just never showed up to. Like for me as a friend maker, I need a dead introduction, I'll say. No, that's just me though. But I will say, as a gay man, the dating apps are big as far as social media, making friends, dating apps. So like Grindr.
We just made friends on Grindr.
Oh yeah, I will say I have remade friends on dating apps. Like I'll see them and all of a sudden I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Like, "Hey, oh my god!" And then we just like catch up like we just saw each other like not too long ago.
That's never happened to me on a dating app. Can I just be clear with you for a second? That shit does not happen to straight women in America. Has it happen to you, Christina?
So as a bisexual though, when you are going for the lesbians, that you will come out with more lesbian friends and you will come out with like friends that I don't really think it works on the
never make friends on dating. What?
No.
Anyway.
Never.
So that's only a tip. That's only a tip for the queer community. I just can't tell you that's gonna work. On the other side, can they make a friendship? This is breaking friendships. That's what it's doing out here. People swiping in their area.
I mean, Christina, I don't know if it's the same for you, but like I've slept with all my friends. I don't know.
Oh, see, that's the thing. If I meet you and I decide I like you, then I usually don't sleep with you unless you're like a romantic partner. So that says more about me a little bit.
But have it your way. Have it your way. There is no wrong way to make a friend. If you can do it in a healthy way. Eric, have you tried the apps before? You say you have.
No. Well, I had a friend who was on Meetup. And so we kept going to these random events downtown in Baltimore because I'm in Baltimore right now, and it'd be fun. They'd have like categories like new in town or this, that, and the other. We wouldn't meet any of the categories, but it'd be good for networking. You get there and you're just like, why is everybody so happy to high five and shake my hand and figure out who I am? It takes the edge off because that's why you're there. Now, have I ever made any real friends from any of that shit? No. But at the same time, it was fun, and it definitely took the edge off, as if everyone and there's drinks, there's food, all this kind of stuff. But it was, I've not made any friends from there. Just because it almost seemed pushed a little bit, but at the same time, I guess that's the point.
Yeah, that's been my experience with it. I've gone to some meetup things like Spanish language meetup, whatever, right? And
So the trick is, because I actually I made a lot of friends through a Facebook group that was kind of like a meetup. And the trick is that people don't realize you have to keep going back to the same event over and over and over again. And it's going to take about 4 to 5 to 6 months until you become familiar enough and you guys both remember that you like Taco District, or you like, that one fact that keeps you together and over and over. Like, you just are not going to become best friends or good friends with people over time. It took me a good about 6 months to a year to build up my local DC group back again. And that's a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. So we got, from the expert who has made a friend from a stranger online group, 5 to 6 months of consistent attendance. Do you hear me? 5 to 6 months of consistent attendance, people. That's how you build a habit, damn it. All right? You've heard The Habits of Success. We all have read that book. So anyway, I mean, which kind of brings me to the next part, which is like, how do you go in? What's your expectation going in? Like, if you meet new people, do you ever just get let down? I mean, sure, you get all. Friend has joined us. He's walking. I wonder how good this is going to be. Let's see. Rexian, where are you? What is happening? Are you
Very expensive Montgomery County Elementary School.
okay, you know what? Hey, Montgomery County got the best school.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad you're in that school district.
About the size of my middle school, so I'm not mad at this.
So, Rex, I was just asking. So we were talking about the apps. I don't know if you've ever been on one of those apps for friends meetup or like Bumble BFF or anything like that.
I didn't know those were things. Like Bumble BFF?
You never heard of that?
I heard of Bumble. I've never heard of Bumble BFF.
That is an app for friendship. In fact, one of my sister's friends came from one of those kind of friendship things because when she moved here at first, she didn't know anybody. So it was like, all right, why not? You know, she didn't make a ton of friends, but she made a friend. So that's not bad. But you know, Christina was saying that it takes consistency with those groups, and that's the energy that most of us don't have to do something.
I think all friendships take consistency.
Yes.
Quote it. All friendships take consistency.
Yeah, at some point. I mean, like, even for, like, you know, you and I, like, our friendship was very consistent during undergrad. And because of that, it can be less consistent now. We can still come back to that friendship.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I was asking everybody just now, when you meet new people, what are your expectations? Like, have you ever gotten let down by somebody who you thought you were building a friendship with, or how do you approach it?
It's been a while since I felt, I would say, I guess, disappointed in a friendship. I've had friends who've done things that have disappointed me, but like in regards to the relationship itself being maybe cheaper than I thought it was. A long time ago with a guy who I guess saw that I was pretty proficient at making friends of the opposite sex and used that as an opportunity to, like, I guess, get closer to those women, and it was just very uncomfortable for them. He was very aggressive, and it was a revelation for me, and I was kind of disappointing there because I was like, oh man, I thought we were close because we played football in high school, and I went to Penn State for my freshman year, came back down to Maryland where I graduated with Chantelle, and he like helped introduce me to people on campus and stuff. I was like, oh great, like we're reconnecting, and it really was just like, nah, I seen you like chilling out with like 10 girls I'm trying to get at, and it all came to light, and it was pretty disappointing. So
yeah. Well,
I will say that like people give you like a lot of leeway once they like you. Like once you are a friend, people are like really good at just like forgiving and forgetting.
Yeah.
I will just say like one of my tricks, like if you do something that people don't like and just not talk about it, everyone forgets.
what?
Like I have put my foot in my mouth and like have taken the wind out of things and have just like moved on, and everyone else moves on too. Like I'll say just like, yeah, I thought that person was ugly, and then everyone's like, whoa, we love them, whoa, and I'm just like, okay, and then everyone just moves on.
Do you think because you have a lot of social capital with those people, so it's like, I didn't really like what Freddie did right there, but that doesn't outweigh how much I like Freddie? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The social
Rex is trying to make sense of it. Rex is trying to make it make sense for you. Why?
Oh yeah, but the social capital is totally there. Like once people know you're good at friends, like as Rex was saying, like they will see. They think that by proximity you will rub off on them.
Well, let me ask you, Eric, because you said you didn't start out good at making friends. What's your expectation when you meet new people?
My expectation. I don't have an expectation. I think that's why I make a lot of friends. I don't have an expectation. I don't go out and go, I'm gonna make some friends today. No. It's a lot of times it's just about acknowledgement. I mean, it's easy. Like the other day it was raining. I was in Baltimore. I was under a tent in front of a restaurant eating dinner, and there wasn't a lot of people there. There was 2 girls sitting next to me, but they were at another table. I saw a lady walk up, and she asked for she asked for a table, and she said she just wanted to have a couple of drinks. So I just waved. I went just like this, and she looked and she waved back, and then I waved her over, and then she came, sat at my table. I said, I was looking for some company. Would you like some company? And she said yes. She sat down, and we had a 4-hour conversation. She was from like the UK. Like, we just sat there, just drank and ate and high-fived, had a good time. There was no expectation. I was bored personally, but I'm not afraid to put myself out there. I don't have those weird social cues anymore that I used to. I don't care. Like, what's the worst that could happen? She go, nah, I'm gonna go eat by myself. So it's like, I don't care. I don't have any expectations. If I don't like a person, I'll let them know pretty much up front. I'm just like, okay, good talk, and I walk away. Pardon my back, that kind of thing. Like, I'm authentic, but a lot of times it comes down to acknowledgement. I've had nights where I party, even like when we were in college, like kind of got like really kind of almost like brown out. And I'll be walking to class and everybody's like, hey, what's up, buddy? It's him. He's hi, what's up? I'm like, high five, boom, who's that? I have no idea. But acknowledging people around you, by on purpose or by accident, that's a big thing. And it just acknowledge. A lot of people, that's all they want, acknowledgement. Just say hi. That's all it takes. It's not hard. For me, that's why I say it's easy. It's super easy.
In Ghana right now, watching us. Hey, Sam. Sam in Ghana. So, Christina, for you, when you started out on the Facebook group going to the events, did you have expectations?
No, because I was a little bit older. I think I had a lot more expectations about friendships when I was younger in college, and like I was like a very loyal, and we had to be like best friends. But now it's just I don't know. I actually didn't have any expectations because I was so wrapped in my hand about how social awkward I was. And like, oh my god, did they notice that I talked fast, or did I like start to stumble over my words? Because when I get anxious, I talk very fast. I talk louder, and I'm already a loud person. But I think that's the thing, is like not having expectations for a person. And I think as you get older, like I noticed in my 30s, the friends that I do have, or even the acquaintances, I can literally say, yeah, I'm not putting on pants today. I'm sorry. And as long as like you don't do that every time, and you still have times where you are, hanging out and connecting, people will respect that. You don't have to be like lie and say you're sick. You're just like, it's cold outside. I'm sorry. Or like Uber is $45. Nah, like but you can't do that all the time, because people, like Freddie said, people will give you a lot of leeway, but if you keep doing the bad repetition over and over and over, and you have to remember, even though that we are the main characters in our storyline, it's a lot of times it's not about you. Anything that most people do towards you, it's not about you. Now it could be a little bit, but most of the time they're just stuck up in their own world and like don't mean to like cancel on you or something like that. They just had a bad day and they're like, so
yeah. I mean, well, it's interesting because most people who struggle with making friends, they have some anxiety around it. I wonder, when you think about social anxiety showing up in places, what's the advice? Like, how do you think about it?
Just fight through it. Like just keep doing it. And the more you do it, and I do think self-love is a key component. I've gotten more confident. But yeah, you just keep doing it over and over and over. And I still get socially awkward, but like now I can just be like, okay, and like kind of sit in the back seat. It doesn't really go away. The voice just gets quieter.
I will also say that like for me, I have learned to believe other people's social cues. Like, I hate talking in front of people. I hate being in big groups. But like every time I do it, people are listening. People are like nodding. Like, I'm all of a sudden like I feel like I have power, or that I feel like I am being listened to. Like it's a really nice place to be once you get out of your head. Again, making friends is just nice.
Well, you were saying something, Rex. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, like we started talking about consistency, but I think Eric hit like probably the most poignant part of making friends, and that was acknowledgement and expectations. Because you go in not assuming this person has to be my friend because maybe they don't like me, and that's okay because they're entitled to that option. You know, that kind of lessens the burden on you, and then that acknowledgement, like Freddie said, made him feel good about talking or being in spaces where it wasn't necessarily comfortable before, but reading the social cues about everybody else gave them the power to kind of interact in that space. And I think that like went back to what Eric was saying. I was just like nodding to it.
Yeah. Eric, you be making the points. You be holding it down over there.
You be knowing. I mean, everybody
that's
just
why you had a 4-hour conversation with that British woman that day, because you just be knowing. In any case, do you know? Do you believe the social cues that you be knowing?
The social cues?
Yeah.
I'm just self-aware, whereas like I don't care. Like, I mean, because you have like what? I guess you have 3 different things that can happen. Like, for instance, one of the things I'm really bad at is I'm horrible recognizing like names and faces. I always do, and it like I've known people for like 5-6 years, still don't know what their name is. No, they have to remind me every single time, and but I tell people that up front. I'm like, I'm not gonna remember, but I'm honest about it up front. The honesty is a big part of it. You know, I for instance, I tell people, the way I think about it is, everything you say to me is who you are until you prove me that you're a liar or something like that. So I just take everything for face value because I don't really care. I'm not really that what do you call it, invested in it. But at the same time, here's the thing. People will ask me, they'll say, how come I've known you for like, I don't know, like 5 years and you can't remember my name? I always say the exact same thing. And it goes back to honesty. I'll say, to be honest, the reason I don't know your name is because you don't matter that much to me.
Wow.
And it's like you're just not that big in my life. Now, what'll happen as a result of that, they'll either try harder, they'll say, but I know his name, so I want to be bigger in his life. So maybe I'll try to make sure that Eric remembers my name. Or they'll go, oh, well, at least he was honest about it. And I enjoy when we play pool, when I see him at the bar or I see him, at the bookstore, whatever. Or they'll get real upset about it. They go, then fine, then he doesn't know my name. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to make friends. I have friends. You are a friend. And our personal relationship and how we speak to each other, how I acknowledge you when I see you, that is our friendship. If it becomes bigger where I see you on my call log, on my Facebook and things like that, and I'm talking to you all the time, that's how I know your name. If it's not that frequent, I'll let you know. You're not that important. You don't matter enough. I can't store that much information. I don't have a terabyte of information storage in my brain. So
I feel like I'm seeing everybody's face react. What are you guys thinking?
Go ahead, Christine.
Oh, the first thing is I'm the complete opposite. I will remember everybody to the point where I think I'm a stalker and like what the memory is about you and where I met you. But also at the same time, I think Eric touched on a point. My preferred friendship with most people is to be a tier 3 friend. And what that means is I'm not in a clique, I'm not a bestie, but I get invited to like 20, 25 people parties. And then anytime anybody sees me, they're like, hey, and you do your circuit, you talk about like what you just did and you ask everybody how they are. And then that's it. And then you can get out and you're never caught up in the drama and stuff like that. So I have a lot of people that I would say consider tier 3 friends, like acquaintances. And that's fine with me because like it's nice to go to events and see different people and stuff like that. But we don't have to be like connected. all the time or stuff like that, or like have a relationship. So like a strong relationship. Sometimes you just, sometimes the need for greatness isn't that big. Sometimes where that friendship's at is good enough for both parties.
Hold on, I feel like Freddie, you were pointing for a second. I feel like you were gonna make a point, and I just want to make sure that you make that point.
Well, like going back to a little of what Eric was saying, how like some people just don't matter enough to hold that space in your head or your heart, or whatever. Paraphrasing, obviously. That's sort of like the danger of being good at making friends, is that it's a two-way street. You don't know how much you mean to someone else until you get into that sort of situation. So what I've learned, and sort of touching on a little bit of what Christine said, I've learned to compartmentalize the way I show love to different types of people. I have tiered out the type of people in my life, including friends. So I have groups of friends and I have tiers of friends. Like being a best friend to me is a tier. It's not a superlative. But for me, I was noticing that I was loving my friends the same way I was loving the people that I was intimate with and in relationships with. And for me, that was really blurring the lines for the people I was intimate with, because they couldn't differentiate the love that I was giving. For them, me being loving was the same way it was sort of like I was cheating on them. So I've learned to sort of find different notes in the way that I interact with people, and like Eric was saying, some people just don't matter enough, maybe in that point or in the long run, but it has made me much more sane, I will say, and has helped me as far as just like getting through the day, because like when I look back on it, my worst experiences haven't mattered at all. So like I have learned to really give things the weight that they deserve instead of me putting on an anxious weight to them.
Yeah, sure. That's a good way to put it, an anxious weight. I like that. So one of the things that I heard a great metaphor the other day, which was that, you got to think of your life like a show.
Yeah.
Like there's some people who get backstage passes, who like understand that they get to see how everything works. They get to see you change costumes. They get to see the vulnerabilities, right? And then there's some people who maybe get front row seats. You know what I mean? They don't need to know every vulnerability and secret, but they're close. There's some people who might be up in the nosebleeds, because, that's how far you got to keep them, just to make sure that they're not doing any damage or creating too much anxiety in your life. Because somebody creating too much anxiety is a sign that they really just shouldn't be your friend. That's it. It's not like you should be like, let's figure this. Like if his friendship is voluntary, it's not too many things we do in this life just for us. So if we're going to choose some people, let's not choose the most anxiety provoking people you could imagine and be like, let's hold on for dear life. Like you can find better people. You could put those people in the nosebleeds, but then maybe you got to put them in a parking lot. Maybe you just want to see them on the way in and out of the show. But like, there's some people who maybe you got to fire or cancel altogether, and they can't be anywhere near it, because no matter where they are, they're going to cause damage, right? Like they might throw a bomb in the stadium, right? Like from the parking lot. So you got to be like, listen, you just can't, we can't even let you in the arena. Like you can't come anymore to the show. Maybe we can renegotiate if you act right, but I don't think you're coming at all. And so like just the idea that you can give some people backstage passes, but not everybody should be privileged, because not everybody is not going to do damage in the back of the show. Like some people, if they get into the back of the show with you, your show's going to get fucked up. And like, that's really not okay.
Yeah.
So something that comes up a lot when I do therapy with people is they ask me how many friends is normal. Like somebody told me the other day, they're like, I only have like 5 close friends. And I was like, girl, don't you know that's a lot of close friends? Like, that's not actually a little bit of close friends. That's close friends that you actually trusted to be yourself with. That actually is quite a bit, right? You know, that's a good deal, you know? So let me tell you what this study shows. There's been anthropologists who did a study on human brains and how many meaningful relationships they can have. He found that most people can have 5 intimate bonds, like best friends, spouses, so on. They can have 15 close friends, so people you would trust and spend time with regularly. 50 friends where they would invite them to like a personal event or a wedding or dinner. And then 150 casual friends, right? So people you would like, if you had a huge party that you could invite. But then they followed that up and did some research on Facebook and found out that the average person has 155 friends, but considers only 43 of them to be genuine friends. And out of the 43 would only trust 4 in a crisis, right? So that's what the average person's actually working with, right? 4 of their social media friends are actually maybe gonna show up, you know, for them. And so some people have more, some people have less, but like that's the sort of average number of people out here dealing with, which to me, I can feel that that's pretty average. But I think some people tell themselves people have like 7,000 friends. And so they're really behind if they have 4. But 4 really good friends, if our capacity is 5 really close, intimate relationships, that ain't bad. You know, 15 close friendships, you know, okay, you can work on that. But, you know, it's all about village, I guess. You got to build your village, figure out which people you need in your life.
I agree, and I also think that best friends, like close friends and best friends, can like kind of circle back. Like I have some, you know, with the pandemic that we're happening with, there's some big friends that I just haven't seen and haven't talked to, and like one of my really great friends is in my quarantine team, and like we have a relationship, and like people can move up and down, you can still love them. It's the same, but like. Yeah, I think that I only have time for, you know, I believe that best friends are a tier 2, but sometimes, you know, it depends on who is a set crew for your stage and your show. So.
Mm-hmm. You like the metaphor, I see. Rex, I felt like you were trying to say something.
Oh, it was just like, I like that you had shared that because I have a pretty large group of close friends. Go by the name of Trap House.
Uh-oh, you're going in and out, buddy.
Sorry, am I covering the microphone? I might have been covering the microphone.
Oh, wow, we were covering the microphone, sounds like.
Yeah, so when I first graduated from college, me and my brother bought a house, and that house kind of became like a refuge for every friend that we had that remained in the area. And my close knit of friends, because of that, like I'd come home from work and like 15 of my closest friends are literally in my living room, smoking hookah, having completely abstract conversations. And we continue to do that well into the night, like every night for 4 years. So I feel like I have a group of almost a dozen very close friends, but I have a group of maybe like 8 people that I literally talk to every day. I don't even talk. We're just in a group chat. Sometimes I observe it, but I communicate with them every single day. So it's interesting, like hear that study. I'm like, oh wow, like I'm lucky to have that, and it's also, I guess, comforting to know that I would be able to call on them in a time of crisis.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly amazing, which is points for community living, right? And like community spaces, because honestly, that's hard to find in adulthood. And just the fact that you had a space contributes to the fact that you could find the space to be with friends and like grow and have consistency, because we don't get to have that a lot. It's interesting because the concept of building a village has been coming up a lot, which really means like instead of just going out and being like, let's just make some friends to make some friends, like really trying to just think like, you know, who could be my spiritual mentor? Who would be somebody that I could trust, you know, about medical advice? Who would be somebody I could trust about sexual health stuff? Who's somebody that I would really be able to go to if I need to be centered? Like building a community for yourself that you can actually use, not just randomly building connections with people that don't feel meaningful for you personally. Because if you have a village of people, that's a lot different than saying like, well, these people need to call me back because I called them. Like, that's not really what the point is. Like, you can set yourself up for success a little bit better than that. And so so just this idea that you can actually cultivate that through like what's important to you. Like if it's important to me to study mindfulness, then I need to sort of be around people who can teach that to me and honor that with me or whatever. But if I'm just like, oh, I just do this in my room with this app, right? Like, what? Well, that don't serve me with the friend stuff. So I may as well go out there and find some people to help me with my mindfulness that I could like and know and build community with, and that I could refer people to for business and things like that. Because friends, that's also what they're good for. If you want to get some genuinely good business referrals, like you need to have genuinely good connections with people, or else you're like just kind of like, I think this person's good. Like I heard they good, they look good, they Black, you know, and then it's like you just sending people wherever you think like, you know, they supposed to go, but you don't really know. You don't really trust it. But so guys, we are at 8:06, and I promised people usually that we would get out of here by primetime TV, and I'm just messing it up. So what I do at the end of each one of these is I pull a tarot card, and we just look at the lesson of the card, because that's what I figure, you know, the spirits and the ancestors want me to tell the people about the takeaway for the show. So let's see what we're doing. I'm shuffling them. So this card always comes up, but this is not, I knew this would come up today. So this is the Fool card. This is what he looks like. This is what she looks like, actually. Which means taking chances, trusting your intuition, new adventures, right? Doing it anyway because your gut tells you it's the right thing to do. And so, you know what? This comes up so dang often. You know, I should name this show the Fool card. Anyway, so thank you, friends.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Do you guys have any last takeaways, some words of wisdom for the people about friendship and what they got to be doing out here in these streets? We feel like we covered it.
Don't forget to be your own best friend.
Very true.
Yes, you are the main character in your storyline.
And just like Chantelle was saying about building community, just have good deeds, be good to people, be nice, without trying to get anything back. And then most people will see you as a friend, and you won't know who the fuck they are, and they will matter when they do. And they will matter when they do. But at the same time, you build friends just by being authentic, nice person doing good deeds. That's it.
Wonderful. All right.
People will remember how you make them feel more than anything.
Well, don't worry. But apparently, don't worry about it. All right. You make them feel however you make them feel. They come back for more. Then they come back for more. You know what I mean? Not everybody likes Nutella, but some people love Nutella every single day on the trip. Don't ever think that you got to be everybody's flavor, all right? Because you really ain't got to be. Somebody wants Nutella on their every single morning, and I hate it. You know what I mean? That's the reality.
It's food for every day. It's food for every day.
Put aside right now. That's actually what we're here for. But so, anyways, trust your intuition, try something new, go out there, love yourself, be a good person, and whoever sticks, that's who belongs in your community. Go build a village with who you need to make you beautiful, because you already beautiful, you just can't even see it out here. You just need to relax.
Bam.
All right, guys, thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having us. I look forward to saying hi to Eric in the future and him completely being like, "Who are you?"
Hey, what's up? I waited when you got on. I was like, this. I saluted you. I was like, "What's up, Rex?" But yeah, I was muted though, so like no one heard it. I was just like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no,
that's all you saw. Yeah, I saw you.
He was muted, likely.
No, yeah, I actually remember Freddie and Eric from college. So I don't know if y'all recall me, but see, especially I remember both of their faces.
All right, well, let's get out of here. Let's let the people go. Go make friends, y'all. At least go be your best friend or something. Whatever you want to do. Have a good night. And I'll see you next week on People Always Ask.